Oh my God, I'm a mess. I'm in line to get coffee. Okay, Hillary lost. Kamala's going to win. Here's why. Number one, Trump was an unknown at the time that he ran against Hillary. We had not seen him as president yet, and so many people were like, yeah, let's give him a try. Let's take him out for a spin. See how he... And now we know. He's an absolute nightmare. He's a bumbling fool, and he is a puppet for the extreme right.
Good evening, folks. My name is Charlotte Climer. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a writer and activist, and I am so excited to be part of this historic gathering of women across the country. I'm just going to tell y'all a quick story about why I proudly support Vice President Harris.
Number two, there are just too many people that could not stomach voting for Hillary Clinton. Here's the deal. She's an incredibly gifted politician. She has an amazing career. She's intelligent. She's smart. But people don't like her. They just don't. And there were too many people who said, I cannot in good conscience vote for Hillary Clinton. Kamala Harris does not have that baggage. In fact, she is the opposite of that, I think. I heard someone say that she has a lot of the charisma that Barack Obama had, that George W. Bush had. There's a little bit of kind of a folksy charm. She's easy to connect to. And I think that that's made a big difference as well.
The last time she associated with being black is when she was sleeping with a married black man and messed up a black woman's life because she wanted to sleep with somebody's husband so she can make it to the top.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist.
So why is that hard to believe, Pastor?
Well, I find President Trump leaders of all colors. He attacks who he will. He's his own man, and I can't dictate what he should or should not do, but he does not just attack black people. He attacks anybody, and you know it.
So as a man of faith, as a Christian, you're saying he attacks anyone. It sounds like you're condoning attacks. Is that Christianly or godly?
I'm just stating a statement of fact. I'm not condoning anything. I'm stating a statement of fact. President Trump does not pick the people he attacks because of color. He attacks anybody he feels needed.
I'm just trying to understand who shaped up this man's mustache.
You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Wow, that's one hell of an intro, isn't it? Jeez. I mean, this lady has managed to somehow ask a question while attacking the interviewee at the exact same time. I mean, like, all of these questions are extremely pointed. They're designed to basically not really be asking a question, but basically establishing and putting forth labels on Donald Trump. She's basically going in the form of a question. I want you guys to watch how masterfully Donald Trump handles this very irate, very aggressive journalist.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question.
She went on a 1-minute opinion-fueled rant to ask a question. These are the same people running a PR campaign for Harris.
You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country. Including employment, including opportunity zones with...
Keep in mind, there are fans of Donald Trump because you hear him in the audience. They're clapping right now.
Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense, and then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was
Mr. President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
if you
it's
can
a
answer the
very
question
nasty
on your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I
believe
have
that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another
I
4
have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
That moment changed the campaign. Donald Trump ripped the news cycle right out of Kamala's hands. That exchange is going to be seen by millions of black Americans. It'll be seen by everyone.
So where exactly was Kamala Harris?
Well, Donald, I do hope you'll reconsider to meet me on the debate stage.
Will she actually show up this time?
Trump flew to Chicago today for the Black Journalists Convention. First-time Republican nominee to do that in 20 years. Kamala was also invited, but she said she was too busy. But the guy who showed up was treated worse than the woman who ditched.
Because as the saying goes, if you've got something to say,
This is a shame just looking at all these people in the crowd. I guarantee 90% of the people in the crowd have no idea what this lady stands for, what kind of lies she's told, how many injustices that she's put forth that either directly or indirectly affected them. I mean, these people have literally shown up for a free Meg Thee Stallion concert, to hang out with Quavo and any other hip hop artist, because the thing is like the Democratic Party, they're not dumb. But they do tell a lot of lies, but they also understand the game. And they understand that black people have a very close tie and are heavily influenced by the hip hop community. So what do? Well, they cut Meg Thee Stallion a big, huge check to say, hey, we need you to represent us.
I keep seeing the Megan Thee Stallion TikToks from that concert, and I am still scratching my head.
Our future president. Let's get this done, Atlanta.
Let's get this done, Atlanta, so I can go ahead and collect this check. I don't really know how much they paid these individuals, but all I'm saying is these people that are coming out of the woodworks to support the Democratic Party have likely been paid handsomely because they understand how much influence that they have.
Are we living in the Twilight Zone or what? Having Megan Thee Stallion twerk is not going to fix our economy. And it's not going to stop illegal immigrants from flooding this country.
The bill also says, quote, every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for health care services under this act. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident. So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any...
But now Kamala is promising to fix the border that she has never even visited. She's in the White House right now. So if she wanted to do something about the border,
she would have already done it.
She's in a position to do so. I don't know if y'all are taking suggestions, but I have one. Why don't y'all go down to the border, put a concert on down there, maybe then you can raise enough money to finish rebuilding the wall.
Now, apparently, Amber Rose couldn't be bought. And I'm not saying that she never gets paid for anything, but because that's clearly not true. But clearly, the Democratic Party were not able to cut her a check to basically compromise her own beliefs, her own values, her own morals to provide any kind of fake support for the Democrats. In fact, she actually comes from a family, Amber Rose actually comes from a family that is primarily Democrats. But yeah, she is actually in support of Donald Trump.
Certainly, you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
Wait. Indian senator? I thought she was claiming to be black. Can somebody do a quick validation on this one? Because I keep hearing like she claims to be black. Oh, she had some Jamaican in her, but now it's like she's Indian and like Asian or something. Isn't this Kamala Harris here? Wait. What is going on here? Is this Kamala Harris here? Or is this Kamala Harris? Okay, so here we go. As Donald Trump gets attacked today for his comment at the National Association of Black Journalists meeting over his confusion about whether or not Kamala Harris is black or Indian, keep in mind this evidence showing that she has identified as being Indian. California's Kamala Harris becomes the first Indian American U.S. Senator.
Okay, so what we're going to cook today is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like the thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian, but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
So does she just kind of like identify with whatever race that she needs that's based on popularity? So like, let's just say they needed the Asian population to support her. Oh, Kamala Harris becomes the first Asian, vice president of the United States, or the first Asian president of the United States, or candidate for, I mean, come on, guys.
In the words of Madam VP herself, to all the supporters who think that the next 4 years are going to be different, let's be clear, this is her presidency. So if we're wondering what the next 4 years is going to look like under Kamala Harris, this is it. We know that Joe has not been Joe in about 8 years or so. This is it. More of the same. This is her economy. That's her borders. These are her horrible policy. Those are her wars. This is it. This is it. This is what her presidency will look like. We are in it. This 4 years of uncertainty, 4 years of just what the hell is this? This is it. More of the same. Only this time they won't have Joe to blame it on, right? Because everyone wants to blame it on him. Meanwhile, they knew that, he hadn't been the same since even before he got with Barry, right? So this is it. So what you're expecting, you think there's going to be some sudden surprise? No, this is it. This is her thing. These are her policies. This is her economy. This is it. That's her health care.
Kamala Harris wants to provide free health care to illegal immigrants. I mean, and then we're already looking at inflation at record levels. Who do you think's paying for this free health care? Because it's not free. It's not free. It's going to drive up the health care for everyone else who's still paying for health care. Kamala Harris wants to decriminalize illegal immigration. The list goes on and on.
This is literally the worst border crisis in American history. Last thing I want to say is this. Please do not allow yourself to be influenced by gender, skin color, party, or ideology. Pick the candidate that you believe will move you forward and put your country back on track. Because from my vantage point, it is a complete and utter shit show.
Wait, what? Joshua Pete? The stunning transformation of Meg the Stallion? Joshua Pete? Who's Joshua Pete? What does stallion mean? An uncastrated male horse, a male horse kept for breeding, also a male animal such as a dog or a sheep kept primarily as a stud. That is a good question. Why does Meg the Stallion show up when you type in Joshua Pete on Facebook? Makes you wonder. Wow, Andy Ogles introduces articles of impeachment against Vice President Kamala Harris. It says here, Washington, D.C. Congressman Andy Ogles introduced articles of impeachment against Vice President Kamala Harris for high crimes and misdemeanors. The article cites her gross incompetence in dealing with the crisis at the southern border and her betrayal of the American people. Kamala Harris has disgraced the office of the vice president and willfully disregarded her oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. She is not only an embarrassment to the country, but has also intentionally ignored her responsibility to enforce the laws of the United States and protect the American people. On her watch, every single town has become a border town. Hundreds of thousands of Americans have overdosed on illicit drugs brought across the southern border, and countless women and children have been raped and murdered, said Congressman Ogles. Kamala Harris has betrayed the trust of the public by failing to exercise her sworn duty to employ the provisions of the 25th Amendment to remove President Biden from office when it became apparent that he was mentally and physically incapable of continuing to serve. For these reasons alone, immediate action should be taken to impeach her. Wow.